audience is listening.
Heads up!
Did you want to buy something? I don't have much, but it's all for sale.
Asinized blood. Floating in the sky. And there isn't any ground below us.
This is the old Gundrick Mausoleum. You'll find nothing but bad luck here.
another one of your kind. And in the company of legionnaires, no less. But I am the only one of my kind. And it thinks it is alone. How very delightful. Pity it will never meet its sisters. How can you hope to best us when the dead themselves answer our call? Kill them! Match yourself against the scones and magic!
The town hall's ahead, on the other side of the square.
You. I know you, girl. How can this be?
You're mistaken. We've never met.
I don't know what manner of illusion you are, but you will not break my resolve. My lady charged me to stop you, and I will not fail. Your legion will fall. Righteousness shall be your doom.
Thank you. I heard the commotion upstairs. That woman! She's not dead?
Rajani is beaten, but she isn't dead.
Well, we shall soon remedy that. How dare she march an army into Ravensrill and murder good sons of the Legion? I'll see her hanged!
You're the only prisoner? Rajani didn't lock anyone else down here?
With Lascanzi walking the streets? No need. My people fear the Witchmen. They're the villains of every bedtime story. And most of those stories are true.
You're Lazar Basili? The boyar of the town?
Boyar is an old and stuffy title. Lazar is fine, especially among friends.
We should get back upstairs.
Quite right. Before Rajani wakes.
The town is ours. They're fleeing into the woods in total disarray.
You hear that, woman? Anything to say for yourself?
I'm sorry for any harm that's come to Ravensrill. My battle was with the Legion.
Before we fought, you said that you knew me.
You look like someone I knew. You speak with her voice.
If I resemble this woman, then tell me who she was.
No. You share her likeness, but that could be a trick. Perhaps you're a false prophet, meant to lead me astray. If you fight for the Legion, then you're an enemy. Nothing more.
The Legion's done nothing to you.
My lady has told me of the Legion's crimes. She defeated you once, and she'll defeat you again.
Jane Cassinda, the old enemy. 30 years on and she's still hunting the Legion.
And why should she not? You're traitors, kingslayers, murderers.
Kingslayers? Murderers? What does she mean?
Lies. Stories that the old king was murdered by the Legion. That's how Jane Cassinda turned the people against us. She claimed that the Legion betrayed its oath, tried to seize power for itself.
They're not lies. My lady spoke the truth. But believe what you want.
How can we be a threat to you? We don't even know who you are.
She's an Archon. Straight out of the old stories. Begging your pardon, but you have the look of an Archon yourself.
What do these stories say about Archons?
They were divine messengers, heralds of the old creator gods. You see their pictures in books. Statues of them are supposed to bring luck.
We have to decide what to do with her. Suggestions?
She attacked a defenseless town, murdered your friends at the estate. Why are we discussing this? Kill her and let justice be done.
Wait. Listen to her words. She's misguided, confused. She fears us. Killing her wouldn't be justice.
It pains me to say this, truly. But I agree. I suppose I wanted vengeance, but I didn't imagine it like this.
She's yielded. What if we set her free? Show Jane Cassinda that the Legion still has honor.
Tell Jane that the Legion remembers what she did. She will answer for every life she took.
You're mad to let me go. But I'll bring your words to my lady, exactly as you spoke them.
I agree with the armored wench. You are mad, both of you, stark and raving.
No. We planted a seed. Now we wait and see how it grows.
If nothing else, this will certainly confuse Jane Cassinda. And that's worth something.
Come. We should return to the chapter house and decide our next move. Unless you still have business here.
I'm ready. Our business here is done.
Against the might of the 10th Legion, even the Archon Rajani could not stand. Jane Cassinder's lieutenant was vanquished. Her mercenaries' hold on the Rukenval broken. In times past, the Legion's judgment was merciful and fair, and you chose to spare her life. Who can say how an unexpected mercy might change an enemy's heart? As the folk of the Rill said about rebuilding, we prepared for our next move. Our old enemy was stronger than she had ever been, and she still plotted our demise. The Rukenval chapter house would not be our sanctuary, but a staging ground for what was to come. Martin tells me that Jane Cassinder was behind this. She acted fast. That means she's afraid.
Rajani was full of lies about the Legion. We set her free as a sign of goodwill. If we can make Jane see that she's wrong.
You're an idealist, Martin. Don't assume our enemies have honor. Least of all, Jane Cassinder.
Our numbers are too few. Can we find more men and women of Legion blood?
There's got to be others. They could still be in hiding.
Might be a few left. Not enough to build an army. But if we spread the word that the Legion has returned, we can rally Jane's enemies against her. We should start by reclaiming the Grand Chapter House, the old Legion headquarters in Stonebridge.
Are you sure the chapter house wasn't destroyed?
By the people of Stonebridge? No, they never would. It's their mark of shame. Reminds them how they betrayed the Legion, and they don't dare forget.
Have you heard any news from Stonebridge?
If I had to guess, more smokestacks, more spinning machines, more metal men clanking through the streets.
So the Stonebridge chapter house is different than the others?
It's bigger, grander. They built it during our golden age after the heroes destroyed the sect. We claim that chapter house, hang our banners out front, people will hear that the Legion's returned.
How do we get to Stonebridge then?
Stonebridge lies to the south and west, on the far side of the swamp. Lazar's people have repaired the bridge, so the road should be open again.
Martin and I will stay here for now. Help the locals rebuild.
We owe them. They've endured a great deal for our sake.
Why send me? We could all go together.
The Radiant Youth chose you for a reason. You're meant to lead us, not Martin, not me.
We have a causeway gate here. Surely there must be another in Stonebridge.
There is, but it's shut. Montbaron ordered most of them closed to stop Jane Cassinder from using them against us. A causeway gate can only be opened from the outside, and only by a privileged few.
All right. I'll head south for Stonebridge.
Jane Cassinder controls most of the land between here and Stonebridge. Her soldiers wear the raiment of the Azranite Church. Avoid them if you can.
Once you're inside the chapter house, look for the causeway gate. Open it, and you can bring the rest of us through.
You're the vanguard of the Legion. All our hopes go with you.
Off to Stonebridge, I hear? Before you depart, I have something I would discuss with you if you're willing. The Lascanzi occupation depleted the town's stores. If we cannot replenish them soon, Raven's Rill may not survive the winter. I know the Legion has done a great deal for us already, but I fear I must ask your help again.
I take it you have a plan?
Indeed. Raven's Rill sees few travelers these days, but I believe the Hero's Crypt could draw pilgrims from across Ebb as it once did. With pilgrims would come merchants, and the town could fill its larders before the winter.
Tell me about this hero's crypt.
The hero's crypt is where the heroes of the sect resurgence were interred. It was considered a holy site, and pilgrims flocked to it. After the crypt was sealed, the pilgrims stopped coming. I believe that if we open it again, we can bring prosperity back to Raven's Reel.
Why would a holy site be sealed in the first place?
I'm not entirely sure. It happened just before the fall of the Legion.
Why do you need the Legion's help?
The doors of the monument are sealed by Legion magic. They are impervious to any form of counter-magic or physical destruction. They can only be opened by the signet rings of the Legion families who commissioned its construction. The Montbarons and the Gundricks. I understand you found both signet rings already. The crypt should open for you now.
I'll do what I can.
Excellent. Look for the two large statues outside the monument. I'll fetch Grigori. We'll need a scribe to document this historic event.
If you're looking to buy, just step on up to the wagon. Have a look. I'll give you a good price.
Now this should be a challenge. One more turn.
Oh, forgive me. You startled me a bit. I'm afraid I was wrapped up in my studies of this magnificent edifice.
I've found a way into the crypt. I'm going to open the doors.
You did? You have? That's unbelievable! How did you do it? Where did you find it? Oh, never mind. That's not important right now. Could I go in with you? I've studied the exterior for so long. I'd like to get a look at some of the artifacts inside.
You can come along, but be careful. And stay close to me.
Wonderful! Let's get the doors open then. Oh my. That was... well, that was quite something. On second thought, perhaps, perhaps you could go into the crypt yourself and...
I'll see what I can find. What are you looking for?
Good. Yes, good. Much safer for all of us. I'm looking for 3 relics in particular. The Skull of Noric, the Staff of Merrick, and the Sword of Bollingar. If you find any of them, I will of course reward you handsomely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must bring the good news to Lazar.
I hear something new in my halls. The sound of breath. The quiet footfalls of frightened flesh.
My, that's a welcome voice.
One more down.
I shall enjoy flaying you.
Lady Montbaron, first of my line. She was the one who defeated the sect and saved the whole kingdom. Look, must be the Hall of Heroes. All the Lady Montbaron's companions. They're buried right here.
You should be honored, mortal. Soon your bones will join with those of the heroes. Die in repose here. Feel the chill of death.
Perhaps the curse on this place is ended. Still, it's not exactly cheery, is it?
I had not expected the crypt to still be inhabited. Both Ravensreel and I owe you a debt. I'll be sending messengers out to inform the people of Ebb that the hero's crypt is open again. Doubtless the pilgrims and their attendant wealth will be pouring in soon. In the meanwhile, here, take this as a token of our esteem.
Do you have any relics to sell?
I found Lord Bollingar's sword.
It's even more beautiful than I imagined. Here, as promised, your reward. Do you have any relics to sell?
I found the skull of Norik.
Fascinating, if a touch gruesome. Still, I look forward to studying this. Here is your promised reward. Do you have any relics to sell?
I found Merrick's staff.
Astounding! To think of the power that once coursed through this. Here is your reward. I can't wait to get back to my workshop and begin a full study of these items.
Well, the bridge is looking better, but it still leads into a swamp.
There you are. This may sound strange, but I was told to wait for you here.
Told? By whom?
A child. A boy with golden hair and piercing eyes, who spoke like no child I have ever met.
Did you follow us into the Mornweald?
No. He came to me in a waking dream. I know better than to doubt a vision, especially one so clear. My father was Hugh Montbaron, Grand Master of the Legion. A proud man, I'm told, but not immune to my mother's seduction.
Hang on, what? Are you telling me that you're my sister? My sister and a witch?
Ah, you are the Montbaron boy, yes? Of course. You have the same lustrous hair, and even prettier than mine.
Pretty hair? You think so? Wait, sorry, I'm still back on the sister part.
I do not know why this golden child chose me, but I believe I can be of help to the Legion, if you let me.
Does your sister know that you're planning to leave?
Leona's word does not bind me. I decide whose company I keep, and she knows better than to forbid me what I want. If only the rest of the world knew the same, life would be much simpler.
In other words, you haven't told her.
No. See, little brother, you know me better than you think.
Your mother seduced Montbaron? So the stories about Lascanzi witches are true?
What stories are those? The ones told to jealous wives by poxy-faced men? Of black-hearted witches who ravished them in the dark of night? Those stories are fancies, but they hide a deeper truth. Lascanzi witches have discerning taste. We will seduce a foreign man, but only if he is strong, clever, handsome.
He'd pass those traits to your children, and your clan would be stronger.
We are a practical race, no? 500 years of wandering has taught us to claim any advantage we can.
If you're a Montbaron, then you're part of the Legion. We could use your help.
We journey south, no? To Stonebridge? I know the roads, and charming company makes long miles less dreary.
One more down.
Hold on there. The roads ahead aren't safe. Heavy smoke down there. From the looks of it, there was another battle in the swamp. Dziesiątego Church on one side, Royalists on the other. They're always at it. I was questioned by soldiers down the road. They were Dziesiątego, Jane Cassinda's men, and not a friendly lot.
Have you dealt with the Royalists before?
They don't harass me on the road, so that makes them at least a touch better than Jane's soldiers. I think they're an honorable lot, but I don't see them winning this war. They'll die for a queen who's the last of her line, and barely more than a girl.
Fighting in the swamp? Doesn't seem like the best place for a battle.
The Royalists are holed up in the Glitter Delve mine to the northwest, and Jane's army marches from the Dziesiątego coast southeast of here. This swamp has the misfortune of being right between the two. This certainly isn't the first time we've had trouble here. Why I still take these routes, I don't know.
Any opinion on the church soldiers? You seem to have run into them before.
The church army is the right hand of Jane Cassinda, but these men seemed more mercenary than proper soldier. They may call her a living saint, but any woman who hires Lascanzi thugs must be a little crooked. That's just what I think.
Thanks for the warning. I'll be careful.
I'll stay up here for a while, see if things calm down.
Doesn't look like this avalanche was natural. Probably caused by cannons or black powder charges.
By order of Jane Cassinda, none shall pass this. Look, you idiot! They're legionnaires! Get them!
Anyone that kills Azanites is a friend of ours. General Devonsey is further on ahead. Just follow the path.
I think I'm going to be sick. So many dead.
Jane will send her army against Glitterdelve soon. Our war isn't done.
Dead royalists everywhere.
How are we going to get out of this
And hardly
stinking
any
bog now?
Azanites at all.
We could have stopped Jane here today if we stood our ground. How are we going to get out of this stinking bog now?
Stand away there. Not so close to the General.
Never mind. I can hardly be called a general, with Her Majesty's army lying dead all around us.
Sorry, Lord Devonsey. Sir.
Forgive the boy. A few months ago he was a royal page. Now he's a soldier. Such are the depths to which we have fallen. I'm surprised to see any travelers on the road, with so many of Jane Cassinda's soldiers about. What brings you to this ill-omened place?
We were sent by the Legion. We are heading south to reclaim the old chapter house in Stonebridge.
Well said. Best to be open with him. Perhaps he'll return the favor.
The Legion? So the rumors are true. A gathering in the north. The rebirth of the old Legion. That's beside the point, though. I'm afraid you're stuck here with the rest of us. The western road has collapsed and we're surrounded on all sides by impassable swamp.
All the dead soldiers were yours? How did this happen?
Jane Cassinda's army was encamped in the swamp. I thought I'd catch her unaware, send her scrambling back to the spire. So I force-marched out of Glitterdale, sighted her troops at the base of the cliffs, and gave chase. In the first charge, we drove half her forces into the bogs. I could see Jane, not 50 feet from my lines. She had nowhere to run.
You smelled victory, and that's when the battle turned.
Jane sent a few of her sappers round back of my lines. They collapsed the roads behind me. A clever move, I'll give her that. Half my army, the young ones mostly, saw their escape route cut off. Didn't matter that we were winning. They panicked, broke and ran. Some of the veterans held their ground and died where they stood.
She boxed you in, with her forces on one side and the bogs on the other.
Killed half my people with the cannons. The rest tried to flee into the bogs and drowned. And here I am.
What forces do you have left?
Only the baggage train and a few cannons. One of my officers, Roderick, had command of the baggage train. He managed to keep the wagons out of sight, hid them under those massive roots. Unfortunately, the men who are guarding the wagons are my greenest troops, former servants and the like.
What about those massive roots? We can walk across them like a road.
Indeed, they'd support our weight, and my cannons and wagons too. But the routes are separated by stretches of water. In order to create a path, we'd have to raise the land between them. Impossible, you might say. But I have a man in my army with power over earth and stone. A scholar called Phineas. If only he were here.
This Phineas can raise a land bridge between the roots? How is that possible?
He's made a study of earth magic. Geomancy. The old magic of the dwarves. It's all very incomplete, but a movement of earth by simple brute force.
You've actually seen Phineas use earth magic?
When Jane's cannons had us surrounded, somehow he drew the earth up over our heads, protected us both from the enemy's fire. Saved my life. That's proof enough for me.
We need to find this scholar, Phineas. Where has he gone?
He was among the first to be taken by the damned savages. They fell upon us not long after the battle, and they've been mounting raids and abducting our wounded ever since. First people, that's what the scholars call them. Only Azanai knows what they call themselves. I thought of mounting an attack on their village to rescue Phineas and the others. But my surviving soldiers are too few and too young. If I had your help, though...
Let's try talking to the First People before we do anything rash. Maybe they mistook you for a threat.
Now there's a bit of sense. Makes me happy I'm on our side.
A reasonable theory, but I've met their kind before. Scavengers preying upon the weak and the wounded. They won't negotiate unless you hold a sword to their throats. I'll gather whatever men I can, the ones who can still fight, and we'll meet you there.
They may be the victors, but we damn well bloody Jane's men. They won't forget us.
Lord Devonsey planned
Careful.
well, led
This
well.
swamp is
We
crawling
were the
with
ones that
savages,
failed him.
and they're none too friendly.
I saw you speaking with the General. We must be in dire straits to rely on passers-by. But Lord Devonsey has seen fit to trust you. You already know of the savages in the bog. Beastly lot they are. Some of our best soldiers were captured in their raids. Others have gone missing. We sent scouting parties into the bog. I armed them as best I could, but baggage train attendants are hardly soldiers.
A swamp is hardly a place for heavy wagons. Was your cargo worth the trouble?
Basic supplies needed for the troops, but also cannons, powder kegs, and the like. Perhaps we could find a way out of this muck-ridden cesspool on foot, but...
This was a massacre. How did you survive the battle?
We panicked. Well, the young soldiers did anyway. After Jane collapsed the road behind us. We were so close to victory. I kept the baggage train here instead of risking an escape. The enclosure gave us just enough cover to survive the assault.
If your people are raw recruits, they won't survive long in the swamp. Let me look for your missing soldiers.
You surprise me. I can offer you little more than some extra supplies, and my thanks. Look for them to the east, out in the bog. We sent out 2 scouting parties. Hopefully the swamp hasn't claimed them. Devonsey won't permit any more of us to leave camp, so you're the only chance they'll get.
Thanks for clearing a safe path. Guess I'll set up shop. Here until we find a way out.
They just conscripted me 2 fortnights past. I can't believe I'm alive.
I know that man. Lord Devonsey. I've seen him before, or...
You never served with the Royal Army, did you? How else could you have met?
No, I don't remember meeting him. But I know his face. Hang on. I've seen him in a portrait. Standing right next to my father. More brown in his hair, and not so much of the silly sideburns, but it was him. There were others in the portrait too. Legionnaires, all of them. We should tell Odo about this, when we see him again. Disgusting creatures. Consuming the rats. Whoever set up the Azonite cannons knew what they were doing. They have a commanding field of fire.
Careful. This swamp is crawling with savages, and they're none too friendly.
If only these damn roots grew a little closer. Together, we could jump across. Look here. These roots are like a primitive door, or a gate.
There are too many. Fall back. Fall back.
Damn natives. You made short work of them. I'm glad we're on the same side. We got split up from the rest of our party in the confusion. We're heading back to camp, but if you find the others, please help them.
There, look. The savages haven't seen us yet, but this is the edge of their village. Phineas and the other prisoners are probably being held on the far side, or maybe in the trees above.
They have the advantage of numbers.
But we have the advantage of surprise, and their numbers will count for little in that maze of platforms and islands. Once we get to the other side, on open ground, that will be the real test.
Do you have a strategy in mind?
Everything depends upon finding their leader, the chief shaman. If we take him alive, we can negotiate from a position of strength. Damn, they've seen us. We're out of time.
One more down.
We bow before no outsider. You are not welcome here. You bring fire and poison to our home. You kill our sacred trees, and you move the crawlers to madness. Now you kill my seed in my village. I come to tell you that you will stop, or Marugyetum will send you to the River of Souls.
You brought this on yourselves when you kidnapped our allies. You started this fight, not us.
We Urshamesh did not start any fight. For years you bring your beasts of fire and spoil the land. You kill warriors in metal and Urshamesh warriors. It matters not. Always it is the same. No.
The damp? What is that?
All that is out there. Beyond our home. The old roots, the deep waters, the cold mist. All is the damp.
I know nothing of your people. Who are you?
I am Marugyetum, he who whispers with Nagog, high shaman to all in this village. We are the Urshamesh, the first people.
You say the swamp is sacred, but we know nothing about it. Why do your people care?
Long ago, the old one, Nagog, fell from the sky. Our fathers made a sacred bond with it as it lay dying. So we all became Urshamesh.
Gods falling from the sky. Just like the old story of the creator gods.
The old one died and became the damp. When you walk, your feet touch Nagog. When you breathe, you inhale Nagog. All is Nagog. All.
There's only one thing we want, and that's the men you took from us.
And why should I return your warriors? You have killed many of my seed. You have burned the ground and poisoned our waters with your dead.
It was Jane Cassinda who burned your swamp and killed your people, not us. I ordered my army to leave you alone.
You fought in the damp and killed Urshamesh for years. You now speak names unknown to Marugyetum to hide the truth. You are all enemies. When our blades pierce your heart, Marugyetum will feed your flesh to the crawlers.
Marco's had enough. Let's go after him. Up those roots. One more time.
I'll hold the savages here. Go on ahead. Find the captain.
Prepare yourself for death. We are Ursamesh. We bow.
Let us out of here. I don't want to die in some savage football.
Claim you fight. I will not stop it. We are Ursamesh. We bow before no outsider. Now, Firebringer, prepare yourself for death.
Heads up!
You fought well, but I'm glad this ends here.
Then there is an end to the blood you seek. Good. None here will challenge you. It has always been this way. If the strongest of us cannot kill you, then no Ursamesh will. Take this charm. It is known to the roots and vines that I command, and they will bow before you to let you pass. Walk free amongst my seed, and in peace.
We kill half their tribe, and suddenly we're friends. Stupid system of diplomacy, if you ask me.
We give you this offering, Firebringer. Take it.
There is an outsider female here. She is not like you.
You fight uncommonly well. The savages won't trouble us again.
I'm glad to be free, but I'm sorry that so many natives had to die. I wish there could have been a less violent solution. The Urshamash are a fascinating people. It's like they've taken all of our values and turned them on their heads, and then shrunk them. Yes, those babbling heads are more than a little revolting, but the natives have their reasons for that too. I apologize. It's been a trying day and I ramble.
You seem a bit taken with the first people. A little odd, since they might have killed you.
The Queen has my loyalty first, but I was a scholar before I was a soldier. These villagers are endlessly interesting. They may be savage, but they're not evil.
What are those talking heads that I've seen around the village?
They're Urshamesh ancestors. It's really quite unusual. For these people, death is the ultimate tragedy. Not in the way that you or I might think, though. For them, a spirit that returns to the River of Souls is forever lost to his clan. A most terrible fate. So when a kinsman dies, they capture his soul, and then place it in his shrunken head. I haven't the foggiest idea how they do it. And those chattering heads, they're a dour bunch.
Is it true? Can you get us out of the swamp?
Indeed. I never thought studying old dwarven lore would turn me into such a valuable instrument of war. That certainly wasn't my intention. Lord Devonsey is a good friend. He would not have left me, even if I didn't have my magic. But now that I'm free, I should be able to fashion a bridge of mud and roots. It's a bit larger than anything I've done before, but I'll manage.
Geomancy seems different from the magic of the Legion. How does it work?
Because geomancers use their magic to move the earth, many have likened the art to the undisciplined chaos of shamanism or witchcraft. In actuality, it's a form of magic that demands patience. Conveying this essence is difficult, but you might say that molding the energies isn't unlike a gem cutter's work, carefully shaping the rough stone into a polished jewel.
How did you learn about the dwarves and their magic? Did you have a teacher?
No, sadly. We've suffered many losses in our service to the Queen. And to my shame, that included the dwarves under her care. We simply don't know if there are any survivors. No clans have contacted us. And even the great mine of Glitter Delve, where Her Majesty lives, is empty. I learned all that I know by studying the tomes there, and I'll continue to preserve what I can. It's a small act of penance for so great a sacrifice.
The sooner we can leave this swamp, the better. Can you raise the land bridge soon?
As soon as we return to the camp, I'm sure we'll be moving out soon.
I must be off. My road takes me to Stonebridge.
Indeed. We are all in your debt. These are troubling times, but your actions remind me of kinder days. Days when the Legion and the Crown served one another. May we meet again.
Firebringer.
Yetum is wise and powerful. We will always follow his word.
Well met.
I'm not...
Days when the...
Our shamans whisper with our God.
Great
It
power
is he
to
who
defeat. The shaman. Do you also whisper with Nagog?
She doesn't look anything like the first people.
So you're the one who led the attack. Was it worth it? I can only hope that the lives you took were necessary. I came here because I didn't want to serve Azanai through war. Now that you've done your fighting, you might help me tend to its victims. I've been collecting materials from the swamp that I can use as remedies and cures. Will you help me find more?
What are you looking for? Gathering a few roots doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
If only it were that easy. I've no shortage of bog plants, but slug eggs, that's a different story. They have extraordinary healing properties. With all the bloodshed that's taken place here, the villagers have need of such aid.
This isn't the place I'd expect to find an Azunite. How did you get here?
I was once an apprentice alchemist. A promising one, I might add. When my father fell gravely ill, I found that none of my cures would help him. I prayed and prayed, and Azunai saved my father. Since then, I've dedicated my life to his service. Unfortunately, most Azunites seem to think that spilling blood in Jane Cassinder's name is the only true means of worship. I teach the children, and help the villagers with my remedies.
I must be off. I will look for the eggs when I'm in the bog.
Thank you, and be careful out there. The slugs can be rather vicious.
Now we have a chance. I don't know who you are. You just walked into a frac's nest of trouble. Roderick sent you. We wouldn't have survived. You have our thanks. We should be able to make it back to the camp on our own. We'll tell Roderick what happened, but I'm sure he'll want to thank you himself.
Careful with their eggs. They'll attack.
All the asses of all the saints! What is that stench?
You're back. Were you able to find any slug eggs?
I have them here. They aren't the most pleasant things to handle.
Let me lighten your burden then. Truly, stranger, thank you. I never thought an ally of the Royalist army would help me. Let me give you some of my supplies. They'll be of use to you on the road. May Azunai watch over you.
I can hardly believe it. All my men have returned, safe and sound. It may not seem like much, but believe me when I say that you've given us hope. Raise the morale of the men. Please, take these supplies. We'll say they fell off the wagon on the way to Glitterdelve. You've more than earned them.
We go our separate ways from here. Pity to see you go. The Queen could use good people like yourselves.
A pity also that my freedom was purchased in blood. The first people were only safeguarding their land. From their point of view,
That's more than enough, Phineas. I'll not hear any ungrateful talk, not in front of our benefactors.
Let him speak his mind. I admire his candor, at least.
Next time I blurt out something heartfelt at an awkward moment, I'll remember you said that.
The boy never lacked for sincerity or nerve, just like his father in that.
You speak of Phineas's father as if you knew him well. Who was he?
An old friend, a comrade in arms, many years gone.
Now that we've rescued your people, where will you go?
I'll march what forces I have to Glitterdelve. Try to get there ahead of Jane Cassinda. With these cannons, we can mount a respectable defense. We'll hold Jane's army at every gatehouse, every choke point. Keep the Queen out of enemy hands. But it's no longer a question of victory. Not with the forces I have left, and no allies to support us.
Once I've crossed the bog, what's the fastest route to Stonebridge?
On the far side of the water, you'll find an old trading road. It should bring you straight to Stonebridge.
How long will it take to raise the land bridge?
Not long. I begin straight away.
If our fortune holds, then Jane Cassinda will not have reached Glitterdelve, not yet. We'll march to Queen Rosalind's side as quickly as we can. Perhaps we'll see each other again, before this war is done.
We promised you a road out of the swamp. Follow me.
Fresh air at last. Stonebridge can't be far. If I remember the old maps, the city is just south and west of here.
I thought I might find you here on this road. Did you think you could escape Lescanzi vengeance?
You want revenge? And why is that?
You slaughter us by the score, butcher us like animals, and you dare to ask why? I am Svarbog, son of Zarya the Witch, who died at your hand. You will answer for her death, and for the deaths of all my kin.
10th Legionnaire. I'm instructed to treat you with tepid disdain and mistrust. Your nation, faction, race, or institution has a negative history in our city. Local constables will keep you under careful observation. Please state the nature of your visit to our fair city.
There's no need for the hostility. We're here on Legion business.
The official census indicates that 0 citizens in Stonebridge are registered members of the 10th Legion. Perhaps you are in the wrong city? Regardless of your reasons, Stonebridge is open to the public. You are free to go, unless you require further assistance.
What sort of assistance does a talking construct provide?
I am a constable model automaton. I provide peacekeeping support, navigational assistance, and feline wrangling services.
Tell me more about this city.
Just ask the Stonebridge Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. This city is a beacon of innovation, commerce, and technology. Marvel at the elaborate system of gears that power the city. Behold our markets of plentiful goods. Inhale non-fatal doses of smog. Stonebridge is home to men and goblins dedicated to freedom and self-reliance. It is also home to thousands of feral housecats.
We're looking for the Grand Chapter House.
The Grand Chapter House is located on the south side of the Central Plaza. It is officially vacant, but some treasure seekers have gone inside. They have not come back out.
We'll be on our way.
Be advised, causing a disturbance may result in fines, detainment, bodily harm, or death. Enjoy your stay.
Stonebridge. Hasn't been a legionnaire in this city for almost 30 years. Yes.
We don't want any trouble with the Legion. This city's been prosperous these 30 years. We want to keep it that way.
I haven't seen a Legionnaire in ages. You're not here to stay, are you?
New in town? By the looks of you, you aren't here to buy my simple wares. Perhaps you can help me. I need someone who isn't afraid of a little danger.
What sort of help do you need?
I'm expecting a shipment of clothing, and the caravan is late. It's not exactly bars of gold, but silk is pricey enough to tempt thieves. Out east of the city, there's a camp of Lascanzi, deserters from Jane Cassender's army. They're looting every caravan that passes by. I'm not the only merchant waiting for that shipment. I need someone to scare off those thieves.
Don't worry. We'll make sure the road is clear.
Thank you. I will, of course, make this worth your while. The thieves are camped near the road, east of the city, not far from the swamp. Good luck to you. I'll await your return.
My supplies arrived. Thank you, my friends. Here's half of what I stood to lose had you not helped me. Blessed day to you.
Offhand, how many fingers would you say a person really needs? Oh, no reason.
A lady such as yourself deserves only the finest jewelry. Whatever your price range or...
So many unanswered questions of gravity. So few cats. Curse this city and its intolerance of animal cruelty.
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
What sort of costume is that?
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
You there. You could use a better weapon. I can fold steel, craft a flintlock, or make whatever exotic weapon you desire.
Step right up, friend. Got all manner of weapons and gear.
Not so fast, Legionnaire. None shall pass this gate without the express authorization of the wise and beneficent Meisters of Stonebridge.
I'll speak to the Meisters then.
Be advised, the wise and beneficent Meisters are reluctant to spend time in the company of wastrels.
Free the Krug!
Free the Krug!
Free the Krug! Isn't it just dreadful? They've locked up an innocent creature. This is an outrage.
You seem pretty upset about this.
If the Krug didn't do anything criminal, it has the same rights as a human or goblin. Humph! You can always judge a society by how it treats its downtrodden.
Have you thought the Krug might be safer behind bars?
My children would be safer if I locked them in the basement, but I wouldn't dream of doing that.
I should be going. Thanks for your time.
Carry on. Spread the word. Free the Krug.
Free the Krug!
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 I apologize, but the wise and beneficent Meisters of Stonebridge are not to be interrupted. Council is in session,
Free the Krug!
and it is a
Free the
closed
Krug!
session. Wastrels, dullards, nincompoops, and Respectable persons such as yourself are asked to return at a later time. Thank you. Please spend your currency at local markets. Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
Legion folk. Haven't seen your kind around here since, well, bad memories and all that.
Mess. Jane and her mobs must have ransacked this place. Ordinary weapons won't kill them. I didn't terribly enjoy the first one. I probably forgot to mention that before, trying to impress you and all.
Lucas, take the causeway back to Rukenval. Tell Odo and Martin that we've reclaimed the chapter house and bring them back here.
Right. Best way to overcome my dislike of causeways. Spend a lot of time in them alone. I'll keep my eyes ahead and try not to look down. Shouldn't take long.
This place, it hasn't changed so much.
We heard rumors of a battle in the swamp. Royalists against Jane Cassinda. What news? You weren't caught up in any trouble, I hope.
The rumors of a battle were true. Most of the royal army are dead, but we met their general, a man called Devonsey.
Devonsey? You're sure that was his name?
30 years ago, Finn Devonsey was one of us. Master of the Legion chapter house in Glacier. And he called himself by a different name. A Legion name.
He called himself by another name? What was it?
Bohemond. An old and respectable name. He wasn't born to the Legion, so he took the name after he joined. My father knew him. Spoke well of him.
When the Legion was accused of murdering the king, Devonsey renounced his vows and quit the Legion. Insisted that the charges were true. Stubborn man, strong conscience. Best tactical mind in the Legion, too.
Devonsey has Legion blood. He might be willing to join us.
Worth a try. We're not the same Legion he abandoned.
He might speak on our behalf, at least. Convince the Queen that we can be trusted. If we seal an alliance with the Royal Court, we prove that Ebb has a future. People would rally behind us. Last I heard, the Queen had retreated to the Glitterdelve mine.
That's where Jane will be going, too. If she gets her hands on the Queen, our war is lost.
How do we know that the Royalists will talk to us?
We don't. They probably still believe that the Legion murdered the old king.
Odo's right. They may be wary of us, but we have truth on our side.
Devonsey mentioned the Queen more than once. What's her name?
Rosalind. She'd be, what, 17 years old by now? Last of the royal line. Jane Cassinda would like nothing better than to capture the girl. With Rosalind caught, or dead, resistance dries up and Stonebridge stands alone.
What's the fastest road to Glitterdelve?
Glitterdelve Mine is a long march from here, many days on foot. Take the causeway instead. The Legion had an outpost not far from the mines. Must have been a causeway there, too, and I doubt the gate was ever sealed.
We'll try to find the Royal Court, then. Is there anyone else who might join us?
The Meisters, the merchant lords of Stonebridge.
They'd be powerful friends.
Friends? These people believe Jane's lies. They murdered our brothers and sisters. No reason to think they'll embrace us now.
No reason to think they won't, if we show ourselves worthy of trust. At least the Meisters could tell us if any Legionnaires survived.
So the Meisters govern Stonebridge? Are they nobility?
Nobility? Far from it. They're the richest men in the city. Merchants, bankers, bureaucrats. Stonebridge calls itself a republic now. Ever since the old king died, and the people drove out the last Lord Mayor.
Stonebridge has an army of automatons, and it hasn't been touched by war. The Meisters would make for stronger allies.
Up to you. Martin and I will trust in your decision, and we'll be here if you need us. So quiet last
I'll
time.
talk to some old family friends.
Legionnaires.
Spread the word that the Legions return.
So much noise.
begging your pardon, but I was asked to speak to you. To tell the truth, the circumstances were rather unusual.
All right. Tell me why you're here.
Years ago, I served as butler to a Legion commander, Etienne Dumarnet. When the Legion fell, it was said that my employer died in Stonebridge, killed by Jane and her mobs. But that was a lie. Dumarnet fled north, to the Abbey of St. Hiram, at the edge of the Erinoy Desert. He was seeking something there, but he never told me what it was.
Did you tell anyone else about this?
No one. I swore that I would keep silent, and I did. As far as I know, Dumarnet didn't tell any of the other household servants where he was going. So you are the first to hear of this.
Do you have any idea what he might have been after?
No. But the Abbey was built upon an ancient site. It's surrounded by ruins, and they date from the time of the Old Empire. Dumarnet's family could trace their line back to the founding of Ebb. Perhaps they knew something about the place that others have forgotten.
After all these years, are you sure he isn't dead?
I must confess, I assumed he was dead. Caught by Jane Cascinder or slain by brigands in the desert. But now... A few nights ago, I had a dream. A child appeared before me. A boy with golden hair. He assured me that Dumarnet had reached the Abbey. The boy said that he is still there, waiting for his comrades. Waiting for you.
What happened then? Did the boy say anything else?
Only this. Whatever Dumarnet was looking for, the boy said that he found it. But the secret is yours alone to hear. The boy was no mere dream. I believe that Dumarnet may still be alive, and I beg you to seek him out.
We don't abandon our own. We'll go to the Abbey and see if Dumarnet is still there.
Dumarnet was famous in his time. His name alone could win us friends in the south.
The Abbey is a long way from here, many weeks on foot. The child said you could take the causeway. He told me you'd know what that means.
Makes sense. The Legion must have built a causeway to the desert to keep an eye on our border.
Then I've done as the child asked, and I will entrust the matter to you. If you find Dumarnet, tell him he is not forgotten. His old retainers and friends still honor his family's name, and we will welcome his return.
First time for me. Look, that must be the Abbey. Shouldn't take long to get there.